It's time to have a conversation about Dexter Lawrence and his future with this football team. You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green, and I want to make things abundantly clear off the top of today's show. I love Dexter Lawrence. I appreciate everything that Dexter Lawrence has done for this football team. I've gotten in many debates about Dexter Lawrence being one of the best players in this league, and I appreciate everything he has done for this team. But this year has been very much a letdown year for Dexter Lawrence. Is he hurt? I don't know. I hope he's hurt because he has not played like the sexy Dexy that made him one of the highest paid defensive tackles in the NFL, that got him voted number 17 on the top 100 list of NFL players by his peers. And we're now running into a situation where I no longer really know if he actually wants to be here. And I say that based off of what he says, how he acts, and really his effort level on game days. But most importantly, he's going to want a new contract at the end of the season, and rightfully so. He has done a lot. He has produced a lot in this league. And at the age of 28, 29 years old, yeah, he should be trying to secure the bag. One of the best players in this league when he's at his best. But the facts are that Dexter Lawrence has no more guaranteed money left on his deal. And he's under contract for the 2026 season and the 2027 season. So technically, the New York Giants don't have to get him a new deal. But with Dexter knowing that there's no more guaranteed money, and when superstar players like Dexter Lawrence don't have any more guaranteed money on their deal, it's very common that they ask for a new deal. And they get a new deal. But Dexter Lawrence has not earned a new contract. Dexter Lawrence hasn't earned a mega extension. You get paid for what you are going to do, what you are doing. Not what you did in 2022, not what you did in 2023, not what you did in 2024, what you did this year, and what you're going to do next year and the year after that. And I hope that the best football is still ahead of Dexter Lawrence. The Giants can be the best versions of themselves faster if Dexter Lawrence is the best version of himself. But I think we can all agree this has not been Dexter Lawrence's best season. In fact, statistically and factually, it's been his worst season in the NFL. He's played 14 games this year. He's 26 tackles, half a sack, 32 pressures, and 13 stops. A stop is considered a tackle. That's a negative play for the defense. Career low in stops. Going to be a career low in pressures based on a per-game basis. It's going to be a career low in sacks, and it's going to be a career low in tackles. And that's just the raw counting numbers. And look, I'm not saying Pro Football Focus is the Bible. I'm not saying they are absolutely right about everything, but they watch the tape, they evaluate, they have a formula, and that formula said in 2022, Dexter Lawrence was the best nose tackle in the NFL. 2023, Dexter Lawrence was the best nose tackle in the NFL. 2024, he was the best nose tackle in the NFL. So let's use that system now. It's going to be his second worst overall grade outside of 2021. It's going to be his worst run defensive grade in his career. And his pass rush grade is actually solid, according to them, which I don't really understand at this point. I just don't see how you can give him a new deal with mega money and a lot more guaranteed money when he just had his worst season in the NFL, and he's obviously coming off a major injury in 2024. Like, I still think Dex can play. I thought he honestly had one of his best games against the Minnesota Vikings, but it was against a backup center in the second half. How about when he played up against the Eagles and Ben Toth was the backup center and he didn't make an impact? And there's been multiple games this year where he's gone up against backup linemen and he has not played well. Like, don't just take it from me. Carl Banks said it. Nobody respects you anymore. And Dex called him delusional. And look, we could play who's right, who's wrong, bad cop, good cop, all you want. I think myself, you watching, Dexter Lawrence, and Dexter Lawrence's agent, put him on a lie detector test, would all say he did not play his best. Still played at a good level, but his best set the bar so high, he is falling way under it at this point. But I still believe he could play. And I still believe some of his best years are ahead of him. But the thing that's most concerning for me is, does he still want to be a Giant? Like, I go back after game days, I watch the TV copy when I get home, and then I listen to all the player interviews. I listen to all the coaches' interviews. And Dex sounds like a guy that is tired of being a part of this organization. And I don't blame him for that. They have the worst record this year. Over the last 2 seasons, they have the worst record. Over the last 3 seasons, they have the worst record. He has just 1 playoff win in his time here. It's not because of him. He's on a terrible organization. And losing takes a toll on people. So I understand that. But when you talk about durability concerns, production falling off, and questions of does he want to be here, I think you have to listen to trade offers this summer. And I think there's a 50% chance he's here next year, and I think there's a 50% chance he's not. 50% says he gets a new deal, he's happy. 50% says he doesn't get a new deal. And a team calls you up and offers you a great deal. And if a team does offer you a great deal, similar to what the Dallas Cowboys gave up for Quinnen Williams, I think you at least have to listen. If the team's going to offer you a first-round pick, a second-round pick, and a defensive tackle that's at least a rotational level player, and I think Dexter Lawrence is better than Quinnen Williams. You might be able to get a first-round pick, a second-round pick, and a third-round pick. Do you do it? I don't know. Like, you never want to trade a generational talent. And that's what Dexter Lawrence was in 2022 and 2023 and 2024. But I just sometimes wonder, does he want to be here? And does he still have greatness ahead of him? He hasn't had a sack in 20 games. 20 football games. He hasn't had a sack. And people say, Marshall, it's not his job to get sacks. Well, why do we all think Dexter Lawrence is great? Because of what he did as a pass rusher. The sexy Dexy dance. He didn't do that because he made tackles at the line of scrimmage. He didn't do that for tackles for loss. He did that for sacks. And that's why he was talked about in rare air of being one of the best nose tackles of all time. Because no one has ever had the pass rush production that he had at the nose tackle spot. And maybe a new defensive coordinator comes in and fixes that. Shout out to Andre Patterson. Maybe a new defensive line coach comes in and makes Dexter Lawrence go to another level. I don't know what's going to happen this offseason. But I promise you Dex is going to ask for a new contract. And I don't think Joe Schoen's going to give him one if he's still the GM. And that could get messy. Maybe a new GM comes in and says, yo, we're not letting Dexter Lawrence out of here. I watched him from afar. I'm not doing it. And I'm not saying that's the wrong decision. Probably the right decision. But anytime a player that's played to his level and has his status, wants new money, and a team's not willing to give him new money, it gets sticky. Look at Micah Parsons. I don't know. Would you trade Dexter Lawrence for a similar package that the New York Jets got for Quinnen Williams, a first-round pick, a second-round pick, and a former first-round pick at the defensive tackle spot? Would you trade Dex for a similar package? Type A for accept, type D for decline. A lot more to talk about on today's show, but with the holiday season here, the time to get your Chat Sports gear is now. Go to chatsports.com/GiantsNow shirt. That's chatsports.com/GiantsNow shirt. I think it would be hard to turn down a first and second round pick for Dexter Lawrence. I'm not saying go out and do it. I'm also saying not do it. Like, I like Dexter Lawrence. I want him to be on this football team. He deserves to be on a winning football team. And hopefully that can be the Giants in the near future. And I understand why Dexter Lawrence wants new money. He's not even a top five. He ain't top 10 when it comes to highest paid defensive tackles. But his production this year is not top 5. His production this year is not top 10. And I don't mean to be disrespectful here. Is his production top 20 this year as a defensive tackle? He has half a sack. He doesn't make plays like he used to. I don't know if he's hurt. I hope he's hurt. And look, Chris Jones making $31 million. Milton Williams just got the bag in the offseason, 26. We all saw what Zach Allen did to the New York Giants when they played the Denver Broncos. That's what $25 million looks like. And look, I think Dexter Lawrence is as good as everybody on this list. I've gotten into heated arguments saying he's better than Chris Jones. I don't have the juice to stand on that anymore, though. Dex at his best is worth top defensive tackle money. And I'm sure his agent will present a deal over the last 3 years. Dex has done this, this, and this, and this, and he's at the top of the league in this, 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 and this. That's what an agent should do. I don't know. Like, what happens with a new GM? I actually think it's more likely a new GM keeps him than Joe Schoen. Because Joe Schoen could have gave him a contract extension last year. You think Dexter Lawrence didn't want a new contract playing on the last year of guaranteed money? You're crazy. I can promise you that Dexter Lawrence asked for a new contract at the end of last season. But he had a major elbow injury. And now he's going to want a new deal. And he hasn't played like he deserves a new deal. I want Dexter Lawrence here. I want to see this defense with Dexter Lawrence and Brian Burns and Abdul Carter and Kayvon Thibodeaux. And more help coming this offseason on defense. I want to see those guys at their best together. I just don't know if you can continue to build out this football team. You're going to give Kayvon Thibodeaux major money. And you're going to give out major more money to Dexter Lawrence when these guys right here gave you the worst defense in the NFC East. And you can't stop the run. The M&A will stop the run in 4 years. So I guess what I'm trying to say is this. I think Dexter Lawrence is still good. I still think that there's juice left in the tank. But the way he's produced this year, it doesn't warrant a new deal. And he's going to ask for one. So what's going to happen? We'll find out, and we'll break it down on this channel. So subscribe, turn those notifications on, and let's go Big Blue.